22-39802 on that. But they're on 22s. Yes. Okay. All right. Are you Dimitri Oliver? And so Mr. Gertz represents Mr. Oliver and has filed a writ of habeas corpus requesting a reasonable bond. Mr. Oliver is charged with the offense of murder. It is pre-indicted. There's $1 million bond set at this time. And I don't have a file, but I do have the writ, which is number 22-39802. Also, it looks like, what's that SO number? Anyway, I have for the record, I do have a copy of the probable cause affidavit and that application for writ. Mr. Gertz, you may proceed.
Judge, first and foremost, this is essentially a cold case. Detective Busby is working on it as a cold case situation. So it's been around. My client has been living in Southeast Texas his whole life, has been here, and I'd like to call him briefly to talk about his personal financial situation for the purposes of the finance aspect of the writ.
Raise your right hand the best you can, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Gertz.
Mr. Oliver, do you have $100,000 in cash? Do you have what were you doing before you were arrested for this?
I do cargo maintenance service delivery for Walmart.
Okay. And you're being paid by Walmart, is that right?
Yes, sir.
What were you being paid an hour?
They give us $100 a day.
$100 a day. So how many days a week would you
We
work?
work 7 days a week.
7 days. So 700
A week.
Okay. So that's $2,800 a month.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you own your own home free and clear?
No, sir.
Do you understand what I mean by free and
Yes,
clear?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you own any other property that you don't have a lien on or something of that nature?
Yes.
What do you own?
Apartment complex.
Okay.
Fourplex.
A fourplex?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What do you owe on that?
I don't own nothing. It's gifted to.
How much was gifted to you?
Yes, sir.
Was it inheritance?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How much is that worth if we were going to estimate?
The last property value I got on it was $68,000.
$68,000. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And do you own any other major things of value? And by that I mean, stocks, bonds, gold,
No, sir.
Bitcoin, anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay. Does that $68,000 apartment complex, does that generate some type of revenue for you?
Yes, sir.
How much revenue does that generate a month?
$2,600 a month.
$2,600 a month?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Any other major sources of funding that you were aware of? Okay, good. Judge, I have no further questions about that issue.
Ms. Malpino, any questions?
Mr. Oliver, what is your criminal history?
Being arrested in a motor vehicle and possession of controlled substance.
Was that possession of a controlled substance actually out of this court?
No, it was out of Stevenson's.
Stevens Court.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation for that?
No, nothing.
Were you convicted of that?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
In 2014, 15.
Were you convicted again in 2025?
No.
Between 2013 and now, tell the court what type of trouble you have gotten into.
From 13 on, I had a high speed chase. I ain't been in no trouble since then.
That was the evading.
Yes, ma'am. That was it. Yes, ma'am.
I don't have any further questions.
Any other witnesses?
No, Judge.
All right, Ms. Malpino, witness.
I would call Detective Jeff Busby.
Good morning, sir. If you please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Detective Busby, would you please state your full name for the record?
So Jeffrey Busby,
And how are you employed?
City of Beaumont Police Department.
And are you a certified peace officer in the state of Texas?
Yes, ma'am. I'm
And
a master peace officer.
and are you also assigned to the detective unit?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you the detective or one of the detectives, in fact, the lead, investigating what we have termed a cold case murder involving the suspect Dimitri Oliver?
Yes, ma'am.
The judge has reviewed the probable cause affidavit, but based on all of your investigation and the totality of the circumstances, would you give the court a very brief rundown as to the facts of this offense and what you think would be an appropriate resolution to this bond matter?
Okay. So April 11th, 2013, there was a homicide that took place at Primrose Apartments, 2575 Primrose. From there was different witnesses, but a lot of them didn't want to come forward just because of the nature of the offense. That's what kind of turned this into a cold case because witnesses didn't want to speak on this. And it just prolonged until I picked this up about September of last year. From there, we interviewed witnesses, got eyewitnesses that were now at this point willing to come forward to give me their testimony of eyewitnesses that puts Mr. Oliver there and actually the trigger puller that committed this homicide. That's what, how we got the probable cause affidavit. By speaking to these witnesses, most of them were very scared and fear. That's why they didn't want to come forward. And even after speaking to them 2 or 3 different times, they really were afraid of this man and even considered him evil.
Anything else?
No.
Mr. Gardner, questions?
Detective, is there any physical evidence that you gathered that connects Mr. Oliver to the murder itself?
So there's a lot of evidence that was collected, and I'm retesting some of the DNA evidence because some of the evidence did have a CODIS hit. It wasn't for Mr. Oliver. It was another person involved. But for that DNA evidence, it was not particularly for the homicide. It was going to be for the stolen vehicle related to this homicide.
Right. Because what happened here was seemingly after the murder, the vehicle was disposed of in a separate location. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. They committed the homicide, stole his vehicle, and within 24 hours dumped the vehicle.
Okay. And the DNA that you found that relates to someone else was from that vehicle. Is that
Yes,
correct? And so, have you been able to rule out? You said Mr. Oliver. Were you able to rule out the decedent as well from that?
I have been able to rule out Mr. Oliver or the other involved person.
But you said the CODIS hit is for someone else other than Mr. Oliver, correct?
Yes, sir. There was some evidence that didn't get put into CODIS that I'm going to resend and have it put into CODIS to see if we can get hits on that.
Okay.
When I was reviewing this case, they had, I don't know, somewhere 30 to 40 pieces of evidence that was collected that they did swabs on, and not all of it was entered at the time. That couldn't give you a reason why. This is 2013.
Sure. What's the timeline for turnaround on something like that? Do you know?
I'm not exactly sure. We're going to probably go to a private lab to get it quicker to expedite this, but I couldn't give you an actual timeline.
But I mean, it was unlikely to be within, say, the next 90 days or so. Do you agree?
I don't have a valid opinion on that.
Okay. Judge, I don't have anything further.
All right. Any other questions?
No.
Thank you, Detective.
Thank you.
Judge, may he be excused? He's in SWAT training.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thanks for coming down. All right. Anything else?
No.
All right. Argument?
Judge, we're just asking the court consider a bond in the ballpark of $500,000 to $700,000. That's more than sufficiently high under the circumstances that we have right now, which is just informant-based or witness-based testimony. There's no physical evidence tying him to the crime. And I'm not trying to litigate the crime here. I'm just saying for a situation in which it's, 13 years later, he's still here. He hasn't fled. He's not gone to Bermuda or something to get away from this. So clearly he doesn't have that consciousness of guilt that would be required or would indicate that he'd be a flight risk. He owns a piece of property here, although it's not valued very high, but he owns a piece of property here. He's been a lifelong resident here. And so we're asking the court to consider reducing the bond to in the ballpark of $500,000 to $700,000.
Ms. Malpino?
Judge, I would defer to the discretion of the court in this case. I do recognize the fact that it's a 2013 offense date and he still apparently is in the area. My concern is the same as with every homicide case. I would just ask the court to take into consideration all of the facts presented before you, both in the probable cause and by Detective Busby, and set something that is commiserate with the other bonds that the court set in Jefferson County for these types of offenses.
Thank you. And I will, for purposes of the record, I have taken judicial notice of the court's file and reviewed the probable cause affidavit. Based on that, the evidence presented, including, some of the limited facts that I have and dates and things like that, I am going to grant the motion or the writ. I'm going to set bond at $650,000. And a condition of that bond, if made, or some conditions of that bond, if made, will be that Mr. Oliver, you be required to wear a GPS monitoring device at all times. And what is your home address? Where do you live?
7290 Willis Line.
7290
Willis.
Willis?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that in both? That's here in
Yes,
Baltimore?
ma'am.
And then your apartment complex is what address?
4305 Jeanette Street, Beaumont, Texas.
4305
Jeanette,
Jeanette
yes, ma'am.
with a J.
Yes, ma'am.
A-N-E. So I'm going to at least, if you make this bond for some amount of time, also require that you wear that monitoring device and that you're on house arrest. I will allow you house arrest at the Willis Street house. I will allow you to travel to the Jeanette Street address for any required maintenance and things like that. I would need to know more about this job before I agree to that. Just hang on, get with Mr. Gertz. And if there's any specific requests, you can get with Mr. Gertz. He'll get those to me. And if I find that they're reasonable, I'll send that to Ms. Malfino and I will make some adjustments to that.
Yes, ma'am.
But at this point, that's what it is until you talk to him and you get my permission for anything else.
Yes, ma'am.
In addition to those two places, you can also go to Mr. Gertz's office for attorney visits and to court. So until further order of the court, that's it. Okay.
Judge, may I make just one last request?
Yes.
Based on the testimony of Detective Busby and his making the comment that at one point in time, at least witnesses were concerned and possibly are still concerned for their well-being. I will get with the intake division when I take this case back to them and ask them to compile a list of possible witnesses and ask that he be ordered to have no contact with
Yes.
those individuals, and we can plug in that information to the.
Yeah, so I will go ahead and order it now and then we'll fill in the blank on those names. But anyone that you know, even now through word of mouth or on the streets or whatever you've heard of people who were there, who were talking, you are to have absolutely no communication and no contact with them. That's through obviously you seeing them in person, but it's also sending messages on any type of social media or trying to be secret with it. It's also sending messages through other people. No contact, no communication. If there is any of that and I find out about it, you'll be back in jail with a much, much higher bond. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So don't make sure you follow all of those rules if you make that bond.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Are you Brian Trejo?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is 26 DCCR 0132. Mr. Trejo is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Mr. Rojas has filed a motion asking that I reduce bond, which is currently set at 300,000. And Mr. Rojas, you may proceed.
Sorry, Mr. Trejo, Your Honor.
Mr. Trejo, raise your right hand the best you can. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You can proceed.
Could you state your name for the court, please?
Sir.
What's your name?
Brian Trejo,
And Brian, how old are you?
18,
And where are you originally from?
Galveston.
You were born in Galveston?
Yes, sir.
Where do you live now?
Port Arthur.
You lived your whole life in Port Arthur?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who do you live with?
My parents.
Your parents, and your parents are together and they're here today, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sorry, say that again.
They're here today, or his parents are
Okay.
here today. Who else lives in the house with you?
My brothers, my siblings.
And a lot of them are here today also.
Yes, sir.
Brian, you know, your bond right now is $300,000. Your family's having a hard time coming up with the money for that bond, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I want to talk about you personally. Do you own any property in your name?
Yes, sir.
A home, a car, any land or anything like that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a bank account in your name? Okay. My understanding, and tell me if I'm wrong, your parents own the house that they live in, right?
Yes, sir.
And it's already paid off.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And they're willing to help you out as far as trying to get you get some money for the bond if we can get forward. Have you ever worked?
Yes, sir.
What kind of work have you done?
I work with my mom.
Doing what?
She cleans apartments, offices, houses.
Okay. Is that the only kind of work you've ever done?
No, the yards. I've done construction.
You did construction with a company or working with a family member? Or what?
Yeah, family.
Okay. And all that kind of work, the construction work, cleaning offices, is that work that's still going to be available to you if you're able to make a bond?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that's something you want to get back out and start
Yes,
working
sir.
to help pay for the bond if we're able to get it lower.
Yes, sir.
This is a serious charge, right?
Yes, sir.
Is this you're only 18? Is this the first time you've ever been arrested?
Yes, sir.
Even as a child, you have any juvenile cases? As a juvenile, were you arrested
Yes, sir.
for what?
Unlawful carry.
Okay. And you're asking the court to lower the bond. We're asking for a $50,000 bond. I think that'll be enough, along with any, if the ankle monitor or any kind of other conditions that the court wants to put on it. You're asking the court to do that, set that, and you think that's a reasonable bond, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll pass the witness, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Rojas. Any questions?
What else were you arrested for as a juvenile?
Is it
Drug case?
possession of marijuana?
Yeah.
Speak up, please.
Possession of marijuana?
Thank you.
And what kind of weapon were you carrying when you were arrested as a juvenile? Was it a handgun?
Yes, sir.
Oh. And that's what you're charged with here is for shooting somebody. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Another question, Your Honor. Oh, sorry. What happened in the jail Saturday or Sunday?
Oh, I had got on the phone. Well, somebody passed me the phone, not knowing. Well, I didn't know somebody else was in line. Well, they forgot somebody else was in line. And while I was on the phone, somebody just came up and started punching on me.
The write-up was from the 8th, Your Honor, so you may not have had a chance to see it before court.
Okay, thank you.
I'll pass those.
All right, anything else?
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Rojas, go ahead.
Yeah, Judge, I understand this is a serious allegation. He's a young offender, and obviously the handgun gives concern, both two different cases with handgun, and I understand the court's concerned with that. He's a lifelong resident of Port Arthur. He's not going to flee. He's doesn't have anywhere else to go. His family lives there. They own property. They own a home that they live in. They're not going to go anywhere. We think if you set the bond at $50,000, that's something the family will be able to make. And if it's at $50,000, they also, I would imagine the court's going to want an ankle monitor on this, and that's something that allows them a little bit of money to pay for the ankle monitor as well. You can set it at $50,000. And that's what we're asking the court to do.
Thank you, Mr. Rojas. Mr. Nichols?
I don't feel that $50,000 is sufficient to protect the community for someone who's been arrested for carrying a gun and is accused of having shot somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning. The allegation in this case is that he and some other individuals followed a young woman home from her place of business where she worked as a waitress and were harassing her, and then ended up shooting her boyfriend who confronted them. So I think $50,000 is quite low and not sufficient enough, Your Honor. I'd ask that you set something much higher.
And I understand those are the allegations, Judge. Obviously, Mr. Trejos has a different story, and I have watched the video, and I don't think that some of the statements the police officers got are not in line with what's on the video, but that's just something that will come out later on, as far as who the actual shooter was.
Okay, but he's not denying that he was in the vehicle.
He was in the vehicle. He was, Your Honor.
The driver.
He was the driver.
Okay. The question is, I guess, and from all y'all's perspective, is who was the shooter, but he was
Yes.
the driver.
He was the driver.
So I am taking judicial notice of the court's file, which includes a copy of the probable cause affidavit. The fact, Mr. Trejo, that you've already been arrested as a juvenile, which wasn't that long ago, because you're what, 18 or 17 right now?
18.
18. And I'm not sure what you were doing out at 3:30 a.m. In this situation, but it gives me great concern. Tired of guns, tired of people being shot, tired of it. Jefferson County's tired of it. I'm going to deny the motion. Your bond will remain at $300,000. If it's not already a condition of your bond, I am now making it a condition of your bond, if you make it, that you will be required to wear a GPS monitoring device and be on house arrest if you're able to make that bond. And we'll reset the case for an announcement and get it taken care of as quickly as we can. You can go back with the bailiff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Are you Pharrell Gilbert?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Pennifer, will your client waive the formal reading of the indictment?
He does.
Mr. Gilbert, clause number 25, DCCR 1009. You're charged with the third-degree felony offense of driving while intoxicated, third or more, from September 20th of 2024. The indictment alleges you were previously convicted of driving while intoxicated August 7th of 2007 in Dallas County, and then again November 21st of 2014 here in Jefferson County. And how do you plead to that charge? And are those prior convictions true?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you enter your plea of guilty and true freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
And because you actually did what they charged you with?
Yes, ma'am.
I have here on the tablet some documents that have your signature on them that the state has marked as exhibit number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Do you fully understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand, if I follow the agreement that you've made with the district attorney, that you will be waiving or giving up any right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, it looks like the agreement that you've reached is for a 10-year term in prison, but that would be probated for 5 years. You would be ordered to pay a $1,500 fine and follow all of the rules and conditions of probation, including that 10-day upfront time. Now, with regard to weekends, I'll make that decision when we come back for sentencing.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll need to see, what your work schedule is and things like that. So I'm not going to allow that to be necessarily part of the agreement. That's just going to be up to me at sentencing. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm going to mark through that with everyone's permission. Mr. Smith, Mr.
Yes.
Crawford. Okay.
Yes.
Do you also understand, if you're not a U.S. citizen, that a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law?
Yes, ma'am.
State tenders number 1.
No objection.
It's admitted. Is there any evidence that Mr. Gilbert is not competent?
There's not.
All right, sir, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty and true freely and voluntarily. Find that you're mentally competent and understand the nature and the consequences of that plea. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to reset your case so that the probation department can do a pre-sentence report, and then we'll come back later for sentencing. When you leave here today, you need to stop and talk to probation. She's sitting at that desk right behind you, okay?
All right.
All right, we'll see you back at sentencing. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, sir, are you Christian Lazo? Yes. And will your client waive the formal reading of the indictment?
does.
Mr. Lazo, in clause number 25, DCCR 1423, you're charged with the first-degree felony of aggravated robbery from May 25th of 2025. And how do you plead to that charge?
Culpable.
Guilty. Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Sí.
Yes. And are you pleading guilty because you actually did what they charged you with?
Sí.
Yes. I have here on this tablet some documents that have your signature on them that the state's marked as exhibit number 1. Before you sign these, did you go over them with your attorney, with the interpreter? Yes. Do you fully understand them?
Sí.
Yes. And do you understand, if I follow the agreement that you've made with the district attorney, that you'll be waiving or giving up any right to appeal?
Sí.
Yes. And it looks like the agreement that you've reached is for a cap of 15 years in prison, which means that you're leaving your punishment up to me. And as long as I give you 15 years or less, you're giving up that right to appeal. Do you understand?
Sí.
Yes. You have an absolute right to have a jury come determine 2 things. The first would be to determine if you're guilty or not. And then you could leave your punishment up to that jury if they found you guilty. And if we go forward this way, you're waiving that right. And is that what you want to do?
Sí.
Yes. Do you also understand, if you're not a U.S. citizen, that a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law?
Sí.
Yes. State tenders number 1.
No objection, Judge.
It's admitted. Is there any evidence that Mr. Lazo is not competent?
No, Judge.
All right, so I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find that you're mentally competent and understand the nature and the consequences of that plea. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to reset your case so that the probation department can do a pre-sentence report, and that'll give you more information, give me more information about you and your case. And then we'll come back later for sentencing. Anything that you think is important for me to know?